How to be an entrepreneur. Hello everyone, it's Johnny Campbell here, the Transition Man. And in this video, I want to talk about how to be an entrepreneur. The truth, the lies, and the money. Now, what I want to do here is get right down to the point of this video here because I've watched over a number of years people releasing videos on entrepreneurship. Then I've been an entrepreneur for over 18 years. I'm a speaker and author. I do a lot of other businesses as well, but I'm an entrepreneur at heart. And what I want to do is dispel some of these myths and rumors that you've been hearing about entrepreneurship and really give you a truly frontline view of what it takes. But more importantly, to dispel some of the things that I have watched. Because if you're out there and that's what you really want to become, it's important that you understand really what the rules of the game is so that you can have the success that you're looking for. Now, here's one of the things about it. The truths. I'm going to talk about the reality. The lies, I'm going to talk about the fantasies. And then I'm going to talk about money, which is how we measure our success as an entrepreneur. And for those listening, I want you to pay close attention to this because you might hear a lot of things that sound like yourself. And here's how you can make corrections and improvements to it. Now, first thing on there, here's the first kind of lie that I've heard. Anyone can become an entrepreneur. Well, that's not necessarily true because here's the question that I have for you. Are you willing to take losses? Are you willing to go bankrupt? Are you willing to ruin your credit? Are you willing to bounce checks? Are you willing to max out your credit card? Are you willing to take calculated risk to pursue your dreams? Are you willing to take super risk to pursue your dreams? See, if you can answer yes to those kind of questions, then you are able to become an entrepreneur. Because see, becoming an entrepreneur, it is a struggle. That's the reality of it. Because you are trying to enter a space and become something where there's not a real roadmap, but there are definitely markers along the way to help you be more successful. But there are also pitfalls. So here's some of the pitfalls here, what I call the lies of entrepreneurship. Here's one of the phrases that you may have heard people say. Do what you love and the money will follow. Well, let me give you a reality check on that one right there. Do what you love for the wrong people, in the wrong place, at the wrong time, at the wrong price, and offer the wrong thing, and poverty, bankruptcy, and depression will follow. That's what's going to happen to you. Whereas if you do what you love for the right people who appreciate you and who can afford you and who are in the right place and state of mind, in other words, ready to buy, then the money will actually follow. Big lesson right there. We're always hearing those phrases all the time. Another phrase we hear a lot of times is this one. Go big or go home. No risk, no reward. Let me tell you something about being an entrepreneur when it comes to that. You have bills to pay. You have other things going on in your life, whether you're young or whether you are old, you got stuff going on in your life. You cannot gamble your future or your kid's future or your life on that kind of phraseology right there. I want you to adopt a new phraseology. It's what I call Shawshanking. It's definitely from the movie Shawshank Redemption if you haven't seen it. Here's what you do. If you're working a regular job right now and you want to be an entrepreneur, then you start doing little bits every single day. Just like in the movie with Andy Dufresne. You do a little bit every day, dig, towards your dreams and goals. You don't quit your job to become an entrepreneur. You do a little bit every single day towards your dreams and goals when you get off of work. So whatever you want to pursue, you do a little bit every day toward that. And as you do a little bit every day toward that, it starts to compound. And it starts to build, and it starts to build momentum, and eventually that thing you were doing on the side becomes your main thing without you losing your job, without you compromising your benefits. That's the reality of it. When you have been fired from a job, that's another situation where you could go big, but in reality, maybe you should just say, you know what, I'm going to need a little income for stability first. And then I'll continue pursuing my dreams and goals. As an entrepreneur myself, I held on to my job until the job let me go. But by the time they let me go, I had built up my side thing so that when my side thing became my main thing, I was ready to go. That's the truth of the matter. There are so many people out there with dreams and goals of entrepreneurship to impact the world. But if you can't impact yourself, meaning you can't take care of yourself, then it's difficult. And I don't want to see you out there struggling and listening to those phrases there. Another part of this, another lie that was told to me, is that my accomplishments, my credentials, and my awards would guarantee me to have success as a speaker, but as an entrepreneur. That's not true. You got to understand the game that is being played out here as an entrepreneur. Your success is, those things count. Don't get me wrong, those are foundationals, but when people are deciding about you, they're looking at your status. What is your celebrity status? How much status do you have? How known are you? You got to go from nobody to somebody so that somebody cares about you. And that's the big lesson out here. You can have a great product, great service, but if you're a nobody and nobody knows you, you're not going to sell anything. And you're going to get really frustrated and you're going to get really agitated. So that's why it's so important as you build your business up and becoming an entrepreneur, you build relationships, you make connections with people, you start to build your personal following of people who like and love what you are doing. You start to build a database and a collection of these people because those are your supporters who, when you take your product or service to the marketplace, they will champion you and they will cheer for you. See, a lot of times when I went to businesses trying to do business, they didn't know I was already doing business. In other words, I had a following behind me. I had people that were supporting me, people that were cheering for me, but more importantly, I had buyers who were buying from me. If you're an entrepreneur and you're having trouble right now being successful, ask yourself, have I made myself big enough? Am I in a position to build status? Have I got the status? If you don't have the status, you're not going to get the cash. So you got to build your status, which means build your following. Let the people who will buy in the future know you have a following of people who are following you, who believe in you, and who support you. That's one of the key things there. Now, and I'll go into that in a much later video in more detail, but it's so important for you to understand that because that can really upset you. That can really hurt you. Those are some of the lies. Now some of the truths here. When it comes to being successful as an entrepreneur, your environment, where you are an entrepreneur, is as important as the thing that you are actually selling to people. It is your environment, it is your associations, it is the opportunities, it is the asset, which is whatever the product or service you have, and it is your talent as well. Sometimes people say it's not about your talent. Talent helps. Now, what do I mean by talent helping you? Here's what I'm talking about. If you're not in the right environment to sell your goods and services the way you want, it's going to require talent to get you into that place. See, what I've known is this, and here's something I've really known about the truth. There are people who are not as good as you, who are more successful than you. You could speak better than them, you could produce a better product than them, a better service than them. And the question is, why are they more successful than you? One, they're more known than you, but two, this is important. They are doing it in the right environment for the right people, and they are having the right opportunities before them. That's why they're so successful. It is not their talent that makes them successful. It is the environment, the associations, and the people within that environment. It's like, think about a cornfield for a moment. It's not hard to grow corn where corn is supposed to grow, which is, in other words, Iowa. You can grow corn in Iowa. It's not that hard. But if you try to grow corn in the desert, you better have a lot of talent because it's going to take a lot for you to grow corn in the desert. The closer you are to where that environment is truly nurtured, in other words, the closer you can get to an environment that supports what your entrepreneurial endeavors are, the greater your success will be with less talent. You don't even have to be that talented because you're in the right environment with the right people, the right associations. You don't have to be that great, but you darn well better be great if you're not in the right environment. And that's a tough one for an entrepreneur to understand and comprehend. I have watched. When I'm in the right environment, I command premium dollars. When I'm in the wrong environment, I am struggling. So my goal is always to be in the right environment. And that's really some of the truths of being an entrepreneur. Now, finally, the money. The money is how we measure here. And this is the biggest thing that I watch people when it comes to their success as an entrepreneur. I watch them struggle here. And I watch them struggle because they won't think about it in the right way. In other words, you have to identify the people with a real problem or real desire that you can offer a solution to. Not something you thought up in your head, but you must go to where the people are and watch them and observe them, whether it's social media or in the regular marketplace, in the public's eye. But look and understand what their real problems are and then offer a solution that supports that. Sounds easy, but it's not, because you have to look for nuance. There are already a bunch of solutions in the marketplace. So you're looking for the gap. The gap. In other words, there's a problem, there are solutions, but there's a gap. And that's what you're looking for to fit in. And sometimes it's about being specific in what that problem is you're going to solve. Sometimes it's geographical, where no one is serving in that space. But you've got to be thinking about these simple things here of identifying marketplaces and figuring out where these people are and what problem that they really have that they see as realistic to them. Finally, you have to reach them. In other words, you have to invest in getting their attention and then talking to them and then doing this consistency and repetition. Consistency and repetition. That is not sexy and that is boring, but it is what is required. I make phone calls every single day. I do not like to make cold calls, but they are required. They are required to be an entrepreneur. Some people say, well, I don't make any cold calls. Well, how are you getting business? How are you getting business then? Well, I get referrals. Do you have a referral system? No, you're waiting on word of mouth. And that's how you're working it out. Or you're in the right environment and it's coming to you easy. Most of us have to get ourselves into the right environment. And then the way to get in the right environment, you have to cold call your way in. You have to show up in places. You have to work to get yourself in the right environment so that the money will come. And of course, finally, you must ask people to buy. It is one of the things that I've noticed here. I've helped a lot of people and very few have ever felt that they should pay me. It is only when I ask them to pay me that they pay me. If you're an entrepreneur and you're doing a lot of good work out there, those good deeds are your services. And you can't give your services away. But you have to make sure you're in the right environment. When you're not in the right environment and you're doing these services, now it looks like you're giving them away. But when you do what you do best in the right environment, people are willing to pay for that. And they're willing to pay a premium for that. See, what I wanted to do here, in the time that I wanted to share here with you, were some ideas, the truths, the lies, and the money of being an entrepreneur. And I'm going to continue to share these. And what I'd like for you to do is, if you're watching this video, comment below, ask me a question about being an entrepreneur, and I'll add that into my next video releases that I'm going to do here. But really, I have watched so many people struggle to be successful, and they are talented. They have the abilities, but they are listening to the wrong things. And here's the thing about listening to the wrong things. We all need to listen to other people so we can grow and develop, but we must pay closer attention to what they're actually saying to us. And my goal is not to bash any of the people that are currently out on the web or in the marketplace making money, but it is to look at them as a case study and understand what's behind the curtain on these things, not in a negative way, but to understand what am I really capable of doing based on the people I admire. There are nuggets of wisdom and there are principles that we can follow. But at the end of the day, it's going to be up to you to do the work. I know that sounds like a dirty word, but to do the work. And if you allow me, I will help frame your situation so that you can do the work that creates the results you're looking for. So finally, watching this video, please comment on this video. Please subscribe to the channel here because I really need you to subscribe because it keeps things going. So in other words, subscribe to the channel, comment, and of course, if you believe this can impact other people's lives and help them grow and develop, please share this with others, whether it's through Facebook, through Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Share this because I really believe that what I'm sharing here is going to be something that gives you that real push to succeed in this year. So thank you so much, and I'll see you all in the next video. This is Johnny Campbell, the Transition Man. I wish you all the best in your success, and I'll see you in the next video.